Another think fast. After you're done with your meditations, and especially if you sit there and you meditate for a nice amount of time, you say your affirmations. At that point, and as I'm saying this, I'm talking to myself too, realizing how to implement this in a more balanced way. But after doing all that, again, it's not just meditating that of course meditation helps to clear your mind, and it helps to you know uh have you in alignment more with your intuition in the essence too, from not only clearing your mind but also raising your vibration, so you're kind of more in tune with that inner voice. But after you do that, now it's time for you to trust the universe. So at that point, you don't have to constantly keep like, all right, let me quiet my mind before I do something. I mean, when we're new to meditation and stuff like that, of course. But again, it gets to a certain level on the growth where, all right, once you're meditated to start your day, you know, trust and surrender to your inner guidance, and trust that the decisions you're gonna make and the impulses you're making are in alignment with higher self, instead of still feeling like, all right, at every moment and every decision, I gotta hurry up, or I gotta get back into the meditative state before I make every decision. Nah, because if it was meant, then everybody would have to meditate before they make every decision, and that's still kind of like putting yourself into, you know, uh, some type of bind or stagnant energy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of stopping you from flowing. Like again, uh, of, of course, not saying that meditation stops the flow, but again, when you're in the midst of, you know, moving and doing what you're doing, you shouldn't have to always stop to meditate. And another aspect too, matter of fact, shout out to my brethren Emmanuel. If y'all not following him on Instagram, Emmanuel Lewis. But because he brought this up last night, and it's very key, because I think about certain aspects within my growth, uh, even in the realm of relationships and sex as well. But it's like, uh, what some people be like, man, well, I'm working on myself, and use that as an excuse, in essence, to be like, well, I'm not trying to be in a relationship, or I'm not trying to do this, or I'm not trying to do that because I'm still working on myself. We're gonna constantly be working on ourselves, you know what I'm saying? So at some point, you want to still be, connecting with people or doing certain things, because you'll look up and you constantly using that as an excuse to not be in a relationship, or to not deal with somebody, or to not have sex. And here it is where you look up and it's almost time for you to transition out of your bodysuit, and you still like, oh yeah, I'm still working on myself. And again, of course, we all still working on ourselves, and don't get it twisted. Of course, there's some points of our growth where we do, we could use that alone time. You know what I'm saying? We could use that aspect of not being on top of each other all the time. But for the most part, again, because that's another thing too. If things in alignment is in alignment, a relationship or any little connection like that, is gonna be in alignment to where no matter how much both of you are growing, you're still gonna be in alignment where y'all not gonna bother each other, to the point of where y'all can't be around each other, while you're growing. You know what I'm saying? Again, of course, they're gonna have some level of space in essence, but even then, it's like, at what point where you get to a point where you've reached a certain level of growth, and oh, all right, now I could tap into the sex realm, or now I could, because that's the whole aspect of healing yourself, is to not be scared to step back into these certain realms, to step back into the realm of connecting on some way, form, or fashion, and stop using again, oh well, when I get all the way like this. It's like, bro, we gonna constantly be growing, even outside of this bodysuit. That's the whole aspect too. Like, even outside of this bodysuit, I mean, Source itself is constantly growing in the aspect of, you know, uh, viewing things through the different eyes and perspectives of, of the collective. You know what I'm saying? So, let alone, you as an extension of your higher self, or your soul spark in that aspect, still learning the whole bigger aspect of all that is still learning. So of course we all gonna still be learning. Imagine if Source was like, all right, cut off everything until I fully grow, even though I'm gonna be expanding forever. Let's just stop this little situation until I get to a point where I'm, you know, it's like, bro, shit, we be waiting forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, never, 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 never. You be within your about 1,000 lifetime, 1,000. your millionth lifetime, like, oh, you know what? Damn, I could have been connecting with some kind of energy this whole time. You know, that whole vibe, you know. But again, speaking of that, and also again that aspect of trusting, you know, you put out the affirmations, you're doing the meditation, you know, then flow with the day, you know, and start to, you know, and again it's exercising that muscle, you know. You got to keep doing reps, you know. Creatures of habit, you got to get in the habit of constantly working with that intuition, you know, constantly following that, you know, that inner voice, you know, and that inner guidance. And I got videos that speak on that, you know, tapping into the intuition and how to follow that inner voice, or what your intuitive voice in essence sounds like, you know. And I use that analogy: your inner voice is almost like an elephant uh, that's in a mobile home, you know, without moving, you know. So like, you know, the voice, the like if you picture being in a mobile home with an elephant sitting like in there with you, elephant not moving at all. And let's just picture, for the sake of what I'm speaking on, you know, the elephant can sit in there, like he, you know, your mobile home is strong enough to hold a, you know, an elephant in there. But you know, that elephant sitting in there, not moving at all, not making a peep. But you know, as you sitting there, and say, for instance, you're not looking at that elephant, could be behind you, let's just say, but you could feel like, bruh, it's something strong and big, even though it's quiet. There's something strong and big around me. You know, that's what your inner voice feels like. So even though it's not the loudest voice, because the egoic mind gonna try to take that place of just being la 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 la, like a barking dog. But it's that strong, like, presence that don't feel the need to repeat itself type of vibe, which it may, you know, allow for a message to repeat itself in essence, but you know, it's like a strong, subtle energy, you know. But that's basically it. You know, again, just trust, surrender, and know that, you know, after you done put in your work in the morning, you know, and you're doing your due diligence, you know, it's time to, you know, go with that flow. You know, and always remember that whatever lesson loops you catch yourself in, you know, realize, you know, what's going on. Like, all right, I keep going to this place and dealing with these people for this reason. And in most cases, it's some type of subconscious programming. It's like, all right, I need to, you know, say affirmations or do whatever the exercises and, you know, it is to do to reprogram my subconscious to break out of this lesson loop. You know what I'm saying? And check out my videos. I got videos on the subconscious mind, because again, this is a common theme, you know, lately. You know, again, uh, as I always speak on, as I'm doing videos, I'm also talking to myself. So it's a common theme in general and for myself, you know, making sure I'm, you know, constantly working in that area as well. But that's basically it. Peace, peace. Happen now, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Peace, peace.